Welcome to a special What About Cynics podcast with just me and Billy Bob.
So,
Today we'll be talking about Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed 4. Alright, so you've just finished playing Assassin's Creed 3. I say just a few days ago.
yep.
Probably like a week ago now. But yeah, so what are your impressions? Lay it on us.
I came to it late. I'm going to be drinking during this.
The height of professionalism?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna eat whoever's original. Go on.
There you go. I've also got some egg, right? Easter egg, right? So, I was I was disappointed. I'll be honest.
What, in the overall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it's slowly... Because the thing is, This is wrong, because I don't like... I'm not hating it angrily. Like, it's not shit. That's the annoying thing. I'm not, like, furious at it. But I remember yelling quite a lot while playing it.
What, out of frustration? Or?
Out of frustration, out of boredom.
I don't think I've ever yelled in boredom.
Well, it's like sort of if Connor says something boring, you go, "Oh, shut the fuck up."
Well, Connor is a terrible, terrible character. I mean, I think he's definitely the worst character of the series. Desmond included.
Yeah, even the thing about Connor is, and I'm not. I mean, the game has bigger like boredom issues, I think, but as far as like Connor goes as a main character, he just I don't understand him. Like even Altair isn't that interesting, and he doesn't have that much of a character.
Sure.
But there was some pretty mild like character growth if you think about it. Like
Well, Altair had motives and kind of an aim. You know, he wanted to redeem himself. He believed in the Order. Like Connor believes in nothing except his village, and even that he's willing to eschew most of the time in favor of like political gains if the situation suits it. Like he never feels like he's in control of any sort of destiny.
No, exactly. And the thing, well, so I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to remember all of it. But yeah, he just says he's out for his village, but half the time I can't really work out how he's benefiting his village.
No, most of the time it's like, oh yeah, I should probably kill all the British people to liberate my village. It's like, yeah, that's a great idea. And I'm not even sore about the whole British thing, just to clear this thing up. But
no, well, exactly. Like they seem to do a good enough job at it. Like, there are people defending it and people not defending it.
Oh yeah, that was one thing. I mean, compared to the trailers we saw, where it was like, oh, I'm gonna stop these brutal farm tortures from taking over the country. Like compared to that, then there was a fairly like even representation, which was nice.
No.
I mean,
well, I don't know much about like the history, but I assume like the British at times, like it doesn't seem just about like they just want some taxes. It did seem like they were like kicking the shit out of people on the street. Were they doing public executions? There were a lot of public execution missions.
No, the closest thing that was complete bullshit. The closest thing that happened to that was, do you remember where that riot got sparked off because they shot? Because they're scared. That was about as close as they got to publicly firing.
That's quite annoying that they've made the British seem more evil than they are. That is playing with history.
So true, yeah. I mean, well, yeah, but they've even said that, oh, like, history's just a loose playground to us. And I was like, I'm not sure if I like that.
It's a loose playground that we're sticking really solidly to. But I mean, yeah, I don't. Also, Connor's fucking character changes. Like, at times, like he needs to kill someone, like Charles Lee or something. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to kill him now. I'm not going to kill him now. In one of the fucking homestead missions, a thief is like rapping on your door. He doesn't even nick anything. He sees Connor and runs away, and Connor fucking hatchets him in the head. And then he's like, "Oh, thank God I got that thief." And then Charles Lee, who's like genuinely killing quite a lot of people, comes in. He's like, "Oh, can't kill Charles Lee.
True.
Don't want to kill Charles Lee. It's wrong."
That ending scene where he kills Charles Lee, and he's like they're both like dying on that table, and he's just like, stabs him in the face. It was like the end of Reservoir Dogs, where only like, all the Harvey Keitel can do is just like scream. He just wants to
Yeah,
kill him.
why did Charles Lee still has an army at his disposal? Why does he run away to a small
Yeah,
pub?
like a little pup's wait to die. I guess he's just like, this guy's clearly mental. I'm just gonna die in this chair now.
Well, exactly, and I love the
Because
way
like
like
before that, they just chased each other through like a fucking burning shipyard. Like if he's done that and not died, then you'd be like, yeah, whatever. It's not worth the stress.
well, I didn't. I like actually like that chase was pretty fun.
Yeah.
The problem is, I think it ends on quite a little. They sort of they get this is the problem with these. Like even remember the Revelations last mission, like on that
Oh
sort
yeah,
of big.
yeah.
Like I don't know, it didn't seem to stand up to any of the previous last missions. Like none of the missions. I'm talking about in general, but none of the missions in that game were just like,
Well,
a
like
lot
epic.
of them. Well, epic.
It was quite. I guess it was because it was more near the modern era, but it was quite grounded in realism. I feel, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I mean, obviously, it was still very unrealistic within like the Connor Slaughterfest, but I mean, nothing ever. It was a lot more kind of gritty and political than at least the twos. I mean, Assassin's Creed 1 was fairly grounded. I mean, the final fight in that was literally just, oh, you're in the middle of a battlefield, kill some dudes.
Well, I think Assassin's Creed 3 a lot of the time had all the problems of Assassin's Creed 1.
I think it was a lot similar to Assassin's Creed 1 than it was to any of the twos.
Exactly, yeah, but I think the problem with Assassin's Creed 3 being like Assassin's Creed 1 is that it was Assassin's Creed 1, and I'd forgiven Assassin's Creed because it was interesting at the time, and now it just, when you're playing Assassin's Creed 3 and it seems to be making a lot of the same mistakes, like the missions are getting repetitive, it's quite boring, it's sort of a lot of eavesdropping. I don't even remember if there were any fucking eavesdropping missions.
Oh, what, in Assassin's Creed 3? Yeah, there were tons. Remember you had to like kind of, if you didn't get close enough.
But in Assassin's Creed 2, I don't remember there were any. Like, they seem to have got rid of that. But now they brought it all back, and it just felt kind of... Ugh. And also, I don't, like... Like, even outside the missions, like, the missions weren't that interesting, because a lot of the time, like, just the game just doesn't have that much variation. Like, it's not a stealth game anymore. It's impossible to be stealthy in that game. I'm not sure if I was just playing it badly. But I just found, like, if you went to stab someone and pulled them off the edge, suddenly everyone in the area was alerted immediately. Like, it just seemed like people were, like, you just, in Assassin's Creed, like, Brotherhood especially, when I think they nailed it, like, you'd be shooting people with crossbows. I just don't think you could do that in Assassin's Creed 3. Like, people were immediately on your ass as soon as you made any noise, or, like, killed someone. The only way to stealthily kill people, I think, was round the corner. And it did that just made the game boring. It turned into a fucking hacker with that piece of shit tomahawk. and the combat. At first, I really liked the combat, and then I slowly started to find it why it was actually a lot more boring than the others. Because at first, like, the breaking defense was fun, but then it was just like, oh, I just hit B and A, or...
True, well, they tried to make it more challenging by having different enemies, different ways to die, but I guess what happened was you just worked out each way, and then you just went through the motions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I still like the combat. I like the addition, like the use of a second weapon, like with the knife, etc. And I think there was some pretty cool counter kills and combo kills, etc. They all look pretty as usual.
They look great.
Yeah, and the double kills were cool as well, where you shot one guy into another guy, etc. Kind of executed them both once.
Well, yeah, no, that was all like really cool, but I think like by the like 10th hour, I just didn't give a shit anymore. Sure. I think the problem with the game is a lot of this stuff wouldn't have annoyed me as much if it hadn't been so long.
True, well, it was. I mean, how long was that game? Was it like 30 hours? Must have been about. I
played it for 30 hours, and I haven't done much stuff. I haven't even done like all the naval missions.
Have you not?
No, we've got to talk about the naval missions.
Yeah, do you want to talk about the naval missions now, or have you got more to say about the combat?
But I seem to remember Assassin's Creed 2 and the others having a more complex combat system.
What about the running? Because I really liked the whole. Because they made a big deal about it in the promo stuff, and I think it lived up to the hype. Like,
well, you mean run and stab someone?
Run, stab, run, shoot, kind of. Yeah, run, jump, kill, all that stuff.
I like. Yeah, no, it was like you'd run and shoot, but I mean, I'd always like end up getting bogged down and having to fight anyway. So I mean, maybe I just didn't play it the right way, but to be honest, I'd actually forgotten that you could run and hit. I only remembered because you mentioned it. So I wasn't even aware it was in the game for half of it.
Wow. Maybe that's why you didn't like the combat, because I spent a lot of my time running and hitting people. Also, what do you think about the increased use of gunpowder? Like where you got to kind of human shield them, or you've got to kind of avoid them, duck behind walls, etc.
A lot of the time the human shield thing didn't work, but when it did, it was awesome. I really liked the human shield thing. It's really cool.
Did you use the rope on a knife much? Because like I spent like a good 5 hours of the game using just that thing. I think it was awesome.
I couldn't find a place to use it.
No, well you can like strangle people from trees and stuff, and like ram it in the ground. And
I was just never in a position where I was like in a tree.
No. Well, it's most unfortunate. Well, no, not only that, you can use it like grab them, strangle them.
I'd like the last guy.
Buildings,
the last guy of like a thing, I'd pull him off. But I found with it, like as soon as you did it, like you couldn't use it very stealthily because everyone would immediately know you were there. I don't know if I just had a really fucking glitchy game, but like I think I was being stealthy, but I'd just do it and suddenly everyone would be aware of me. I just couldn't do stealth in that game for some reason.
Well, there was a couple, like the mission where you kill William Johnson. That was pretty stealthy.
Which one was that?
The guy who's trying to buy the Native American lands. He says to protect them, but Connor says gonna stab you in the face.
Yeah, no,
the first one of Haytham's crew that you killed. We need to talk about Haytham as well.
No, I remember that was at the mansion when they're all sitting there. Oh man, he is. This is the thing, we've got to talk about Haytham's crew, but seriously, that guy when he like holds a fucking gun up to a Native American and he just says, "Are you threatening me?" And he says, "Yes, yes, I am." It's like, oh, he's so cool. Haytham's crew are so fucking cool.
Exactly. I mean, like even like the underdeveloped ones, like Karen were fucking dudes. They, just like commanding the army.
I think it was because they just all had like speech, badass Scottish and Irish accents. And they were just like a bunch of fucking bastards who were,
Exactly, it was the way you like knew that they just met at the table of that pub every night and just talked about the bastardy things they do. You're like, yes, I want to be in that crew again. That was good times.
Didn't you find though that like once we stopped playing as Haytham, they seemed to become really big bastards. Like I'm not sure if just the time had passed and they'd become bastards more.
I don't even think they were that big bastards. I mean, I pretty much believed every justification they said when Connor had killed them. I was like, yeah, they probably were trying to do that.
Yeah, like I disagree with like the underlying philosophy, but yeah, no, they're like and that you're right that you said like those conversations were more interesting. They were a lot more like Assassin's Creed 1 level where they'd be doing something horrible and then you kill them and they'd be like, oh, this is what I was actually doing, and you'd be like, shit, that puts a twist on it.
Exactly, and I think that worked really well, and I think even maybe more convincing than most of the Assassin's Creed 1 ones, because like I mean it was like Karen's like, oh, I was trying to stop the war that you've just escalated, and Hickley was like, oh, this guy's a bastard, you wait and see. It's like
exactly, but then it just seemed like Connor wasn't learning anything, and this was the problem with Connor in that Altair heard what they were saying and he went back to the main guy and he was like, yeah, what the fuck's
that
up?
About?
Something's up. But Connor was like, I don't believe you. And then the exact thing that they said would happen, and he'd be like, I knew I was right all along. Also, who the fuck did the voice of Connor? Seriously, Jesus Christ.
Also, why did he never talk to Achilles or like kind of even pretend to be an assassin? Like I swear, most of the time he just pretended to be a Native American, but no, felt like an assassin. He had a bow and he had a hidden blade, but that was detachable and could be a knife that he used to skin stuff. Like exactly. He was a Native American.
Oh, by the way, with the hunting, the first time I got desynchronized because I didn't fucking skin an animal, I was furious. Also, you couldn't kill civilians as well. I don't mind not killing civilians and stuff.
Yeah.
I quite like. I don't know why they remove stuff like that. It was strange. But and also, did you notice one thing I did hate? They got rid of the targeting system. Like, remember, it's just the white outline now. And previously, it was the white outline. Then you could select them because I was like trying to shoot barrels, and then someone would run into an area, and I'd shoot them instead, which pissed me off because the targeting system was gone, so it like auto locked onto everything. I just think they were just simplifying it way too much. It was weird. But sorry, yeah, back to the characters.
Haytham? Because I really want to talk about how much I love Haytham.
Haytham is fucking awesome. What I actually noticed as soon as Haytham left, I'm not sure if it was just that basically a lot of Assassin's Creed 3 is just I didn't find enjoyable because it wasn't really going anywhere. It wasn't that interesting. Because like Connor, most of his stories are fucking tutorial. I found, but like I really enjoyed the first bit with Haytham, and I think Haytham was really carrying it. And then I didn't enjoy the game for a lot of the rest of it. And then Haytham came back in. I started enjoying it, and I'm not sure whether or not I just like was so fucking in love with Haytham that I just couldn't enjoy the game without him.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I completely concur with this. Like the two chapters, like I think it's chapters 7 and 8. Might be a guess. Like the two chapters where Haytham comes back and is with Connor. Are fucking superb. Like, goddamn. I mean, I did a bunch of side missions just so Haytham would stay for longer because I had it ruined that he died. So I was like, I just want to exist in a world where Haytham's existing.
What I was more annoyed about, I knew he'd die. I knew he was going to die, but I don't know. Realized Connor was going to kill him, and that was the biggest insult.
Yeah, that really pissed me off.
I'd have rather he'd have caught like polio or like dysentery and just shat himself to death. That would have been a more dignified end.
I was so annoyed, and even kind of immediately afterwards, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have killed him. Like, yes, no, you shouldn't have, you fucking moron. Like, oh yeah, Haytham was like a perfect mix of badass and gentleman, and his son in no way lived up to that reputation.
Exactly. And the real thing is, like, Achilles was right the whole time. Like, Achilles was like, just kill Haytham.
Yeah.
You need to kill Haytham. And I'm actually glad that Connor was enough of a fucking idiot to ignore Achilles, because or else, you know, the game would have been shit, because Haytham would have been gone.
Yeah. True. Well, that's the thing, is like there's like those 2 points where Connor just sees like Haytham in the crowd. It's like, Connor, you've hit people from like less distance than that. Just shoot him in the face.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I swear to God, there were times when like he was getting outsmarted. A lot of the time, I couldn't really tell how strong Connor was
because it fluctuated so wildly.
Exactly, like in the cutscenes, he's a fucking loser.
Yeah,
can't shoot. But that's the same in most games. Like even in Max Payne 3. Like, even in Max Payne 3, like, obviously he'll get, like, one guy will come up and put a gun to his head. And it's like, Max, why don't you just fucking slow-mo this man to death? Like you've done with the thousands of other people you've killed today. But, yeah, I think that's just, like, a weird cutscene sort of disease.
Yeah.
Where the character temporarily becomes a fucking pussy.
Oh, but when Haytham, because Haytham kept his badass in the cutscenes, like when they just executes that guy straight up, like a couple of times, I was like, why did you do it? It's like, fucking Haytham, man. That's what
exactly.
I do.
Exactly, and like even like, you know, like Connor would like said to that guy, oh yeah, I won't kill you, and then Haytham just goes to shoot him, and he says, I thought you said you keep his word, your word, and Haytham says, yeah, Connor did, and shoots him in the face.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Haytham. Because he's such a little posh asshole, but like he's so fucking cool at the same time. Like
I also love the bits like some of those there's really heartfelt moments where like they're pissed off at each other, and then he'll mention the fact they're like father and son, and he'll be like, oh, and you're like, yeah. Why did Connor have to go ruin that?
Exactly. Well, I mean, like talking about boring characters, I'm not sure. A lot of the secondary characters, I'm not sure if they were that interesting or not. Like Achilles, especially Achilles, like. Achilles was pretty.
Well, they were always hinting that he had some sort of like tragic past that made him give up assassinating and give up in general, but they never really got to it. Like, well, the only thing they really he had like a wife and a son, but it didn't work out.
Who was called Connor?
Ooh. Yeah.
But the thing I liked about Achilles was Achilles kept saying like, oh, you know, he kept trying to hint that he was black and therefore unpopular. Like Connor would be like, I'm unpopular. He's like, oh yes, not as unpopular as I am. But I thought, like, at first, I didn't even like clock that it was because he was black. I just thought it was because he was a boring asshole and no one liked him.
Did you not? Oh, I know. I definitely got that they were trying to imply that white people hate Native Americans and blacks.
Well, do you remember the whole? Nice... Do you remember the whole epilogue of the game?
No.
Like it's just Haytham walking around, just seeing people getting segregated.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, as far as like characters go, like if we talk about the Templars, like just so much better. But no, I swear to God, Charles Lee, like seriously, once you stopped, like in the first few scenes, he was like quite a nice, just upright guy, and then he just became this greasy bastard.
True. Well, this is the thing, because when I was watching someone else play Assassin's Creed 3 when I first saw it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this was before I knew that they turned out to be Templars, and I was like, I bet Charles Lee's a traitor because he's too affable and nice.
Yeah.
But then that never really happened because he wasn't a traitor. He just became steadily more grotesque.
Well, he sort of was a traitor. Like They kept.
Was he?
I swear to God, they kept hinting stuff like he killed the village. He burnt the village.
No, he wasn't a traitor. He was just an idealist. He took the Templar creed far. That's not really being a traitor, is it?
But I thought Haytham was in control, and he was like, "Why are you killing my ex-wife?" And stuff like that.
Well, no, because Charles didn't know that the ex-wife was there.
But why was he burning there anyway? That's what I didn't understand. Because
he took his orders too far. It wasn't any kind of betrayal. It was just he wanted to, because he's a xenophobe. He didn't like Native Americans in general. Hence that whole rant to Connor.
No, I remember that. Yeah. No.
When he's a little kid, he's like, "Oh, you're savages. You'll never understand our glorious enlightenment." Kind of thing.
Well, little do they know they had the orb. I love that.
Yeah.
But by the way, when the fuck did they get hold of that? Now we had talked about this, and it's so delicate, but I was getting the impression, especially when like this sort of witch doctor, like sort of, chief leader, female voodoo woman. She was like, oh, she brought out the orb, and she was like, look at this, Connor, learn enlightenment from the spirits. I was sort of getting and even with Connor's character, like he was very stoic and good. Like he was boringly good. It just kind of felt like they just wanted to represent the Native Americans in not an interesting way, other than just great blokes, mystic and really good. It's sort of had a Pocahontas feel to it.
Exactly. Well, this is the thing, because like Italians were bastards, and kind of the Ottomans were bastards.
Yeah.
And go back further, the Middle Eastern people were bastards, and so were the Crusader French and Englishmen and the Germans.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, the Native Americans, you must speak their own language, and you must revere them. It's like, yeesh.
Yeah, it was strange. Well, you said the language thing because you didn't have the subtitles on.
Well, no, it's not even that. I mean, I understood what was going on because I had different subtitles on, but it was the fact that the Animus has translated every language flawlessly up until this point. The Native American comes along, and the Animus is like, I don't... What? Yama.
Well, I agree, because the Animus can clearly do it because it does it later in the game. So clearly they were just... Clearly they just
wanted some Native American.
They wanted some Native American in it because apparently they didn't want them speaking English, which yet again is just seemingly trying to.
Yeah. We had Syrians talking English. We had Italians talking English. Turks talking English, but no. Like Native American, they're a sacred people. They must speak Iroquois.
Exactly, and I think it was the whole sacred people thing. I just thought it was they're still a normal. They're just a culture. Just treat them.
They don't get affected by science, because that's what the Animus is, or should be. It shouldn't have a fucking kind of sensitivity button to it.
I think something bad happened here. I think we should. I mean, it's like what happens if the Animus starts doing there's a Holocaust mission, and it's like, I think this is touchy. I'll make.
Just translate all the Jewish accents into pure Stone Cold British ones.
Exactly. I'll make it sound really good.
No, that was stupid. But that's a minor kind of quip. That was just a.
Well, I don't think it's a minor quip because I think it genuinely affects the entire. I think it affects Connor.
It reflects, it reflects the entire game in a way because it shows the kind of flawed perspective.
Think of one douchey or interesting Native American character in the game. By the way, what the hell was up with his friend who he trusted,
the one who betrayed him,
who knew that Charles Lee had burnt his village to the ground? Why did he turn on Connor? That was just stupid fucking thrown in drama. It was pointless. None of that made any sense. It was
so Connor could have a I've had to kill my friend kind of moral crisis moment.
Well, it was like the thing. I found the writing was all over. Like at times it was really good, and then at times it was sort of really forced and just weird, and just it wasn't very well developed. Like people talk about freedom, but they wouldn't really go into it. And you sort of got the feeling that maybe Connor wasn't actually that much of an intellectual.
Well, no, Connor wasn't. I mean,
well, he said that Achilles taught him.
True. Well, Connor seems to just be a kind of wood from the trees guy. He's he'll just burn the whole forest if he has to. I really don't think Connor has ever had a problem that couldn't be solved by obsessive Tomahawk.
Exactly, and with the English weren't. Well, it seems like he only goes after the Templars and hates the English because he thinks the Templars are working for the crown.
Yeah.
And,
But
and then killing the crown
yeah.
and protect his village. And then he finds out they're not working for the crown, and yet he just continues killing British, I guess, because he was doing it anyway.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he's like, fuck it, I've made my bed. There's a really weird bit as well. Like I was thinking about this. Like in Brotherhood, there's like the trailer, if you remember, is
the best game.
the assassination of Rico
Jesse
Borgia.
James?
Yeah.
Okay. By the coward Robert Ford.
That coward. But and then in Assassin's Creed Revelations, it's like Ezio investigating that kind of temple place. Yeah. Like the trailer for Assassin's Creed 3, as awesome as it was literally just Connor charging at a billion dudes and killing them all. Like I realized there was no reason, no motivation. Like at least in the other two, you had a kind of this man is bad, or kind of like this temple needs to be explored. In that, it was just it's Bunker Hill and he wants to fucking murder someone.
Well, it did just feel like Connor messing around for about 20 hours and then would find a key. Like that was kind of it. Like I couldn't at times I couldn't see why it was relevant or why he was doing what he was doing.
Sure.
A lot of the time it was just strange.
I don't know. I still think, I mean, Connor is a weak character, but I still think there was enough interesting content, and I think it kept me entertained, and I think it was I still think it was better than Revelations.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to think, because Revelations was a lot shorter.
Yeah, and Revelations had a lot less new stuff.
There's a lot of fluff.
What about the tower defense game? I mean, come on.
That was shit.
You think that basically sums up Revelations in my eyes. When I think of Revelations, I think of, you must hire 20 assassin's sharpshooters to clear the alleyway. And I'm like, no, I don't need to. I'm going home.
Well, then again, was there a stupid? No, there weren't really that many annoying minigames.
No, I mean, if any minigame that they made you do, it was only once in a story mission, like that cannon one and that control the battle one, where they make you shoot at the people crossing the river.
The control the battle one, I agree.
Those
like,
were
fine. That was fun, but it was a missed opportunity, like you were saying from the trailer. Like it was nothing like it seemed to be being portrayed as, or what it would be. It was sort of just you just wait for them to stop and then hit the circle button.
I think the main reason I was sad was because there was no radioactive playing in the background. I still think that should be the soundtrack to the 1770s.
Yeah, people go apeshit over the soundtrack. I like the soundtrack. I didn't think it was that great.
No, I was talking about the trailer, but no, the soundtrack's fine. I mean, I think it's probably the best Assassin's Creed soundtrack, but that's just because there's like a better musical palette to go for.
I still think Assassin's Creed 2 is the best one.
I can't really remember it at this point, but I'll take your word on it.
Okay, well, I was listening to it the other day.
That would be why.
Because I'm really fucking boring, but also the
It's
but
fine,
yeah,
it's good music.
So all the side missions. I mean, there was a lot of fluff in it. I mean,
Sure. Well, have you done all the treasure missions yet? Can we talk about that?
Oh, you mean with Pegleg?
Captain Kidd.
I haven't, but you can talk about it. I mean, I've done a lot of them. Those are interesting.
Do you know what you get for doing it?
Armor.
No.
Usually you get armor.
You get a ring.
What does it do?
It's a ring that's powerfully magnetic. So when you get shot, then it distorts some of the bullets, so they don't hit you. Which is kind of cool. I thought it's a nice variation.
That's all right. I mean, whenever I do stuff like that, like I'm never really expecting anything that great because, like, within the context of Assassin's Creed, there's nothing you can really like. You can't make me fly or anything.
Sure. The thing that's funny, remember, because I told you there's something that kind of breaks the continuity.
Yeah,
like, I did it after the main story had ended.
Yeah.
And then when you do it, like Sean explains to Desmond, and Desmond asks a bunch of questions about the ring and what it does.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, Desmond's on the floor of a fucking cathedral thing at the moment. He's not going to be talking. This is kind of weird. Like, yeah, I don't know who. Then again, I'm not sure who the hell you're supposed to be controlling at that point when you're playing as Connor after the mission's ended.
Yeah, no, that's weird. I mean, you were talking about maybe there was a second Animus, kind of like a second Matrix.
Yeah.
Which
makes sense.
Would be good. I mean,
I don't think they'll build on it though, because they've said they're basically not going to do the whole future story for Assassin's Creed 4, which seems odd.
I don't really know what they're going to do with Assassin's Creed 4. Are we just going to be dicking about in the past? Is that it now?
I guess so. Or I guess they've taken it to its purest form.
Because it shouldn't really be Assassin's Creed 4. They should kind of do a reboot. Because it's not.
I'm tired of reboots. I'm fine with Assassin's Creed 4. I mean, I think I'm more in favour of it than most of the people I know.
But to be honest, like, I didn't like of all the extra missions, I did really like the naval missions. And although I was saying, oh yeah, the naval missions are just all right, and I don't know why people love them so much, the more I started disliking like Assassin's Creed because I just was finding it repetitive and just not that interesting. It just sort of cutscene to cutscene, sort of. Whenever the naval missions came in, I was like, oh shit, yeah, this is a really like cool bit of the game that isn't like repetitive. And so actually now I'm really excited for Assassin's Creed 4 because it's just going to be loads of naval missions. And
Yeah, well,
yeah,
exactly. I mean, if you've seen how if it does genuinely work from like open ocean to open island, then it's going to be incredible.
well, that would be
Like
amazing.
if they can actually put that to paper, then I think it would be really good. Now, before we move on to Assassin's Creed 4, do you want to talk about the naval missions more, or
Um,
because I really liked them? Have you finished them yet? Like,
yes, basically all of them.
yeah, because I know I think it was a nice system. I think it couldn't be built upon slightly. I think it was I like
Yeah,
the combination of the swivel guns and the main guns was like just the right amount of kind of tactics. You could
exactly. And
probably do
then
with a bit more, but
you
it's
could
good.
buy more, and it just worked incredibly well, and it was smooth. And like even when the waves were coming in, it just felt like you were a fucking captain of a ship,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it was incredible.
And
I
Connor looked at
really
his
liked them.
coolest,
Yes, he did. Well, because you couldn't see his face, you just saw a man in a suit, and you were like, that could be Hatham.
and he had a little. Yeah, I was gonna say he had a little tricorn on as well. So you're like, yep, looks like Haytham. Oh, the ship scenes where Haytham's there, and he's like, "How did you come to captain a ship?" I was like, "Yes, yes,
Exactly, he's
Haytham."
just slagging him off. It was like, yeah, yeah. I was like, even I was yelling out insults at Connor. Like, I'd happily be like Charles. I'd happily be like a little Charles Lee, like little Munchkin sidekick character, just taking the piss out of out of Connor all day.
That's
I,
what they.
actually,
Go on.
at one point, I just found myself just getting angry at Native Americans. I think that game slowly turned me into sort of a Templar, just going, "Oh, savage." It's just because I hated Connor so much.
As after Connor had butchered his seventh fort of British people, you were like, "Yeah, this is insane."
I know, I wasn't even offended on like a patriotic level or
No,
anything.
yeah.
I was just getting, I was just annoyed. I was like, Connor, you have no right to be killing these people. You don't even know what you want.
I mean, how is this aiding the liberation of anything other than like the US, which isn't what you want?
Exactly. And yeah, and as I think it was you who said that in killing the British, he actually like basically accelerated the killing of his own people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the US were way more expansionist than the British would have ever been, and had way worse racial policy. Like, I'm not really. What was that in
Exactly.
aid of?
Like I think by that point we were basically getting around to getting rid of slavery, weren't we?
Yeah, we were trying to like enclose areas so it wouldn't happen, etc. And
Jesus, man.
we'd have never got sold like the Louisiana Purchase, so all their land would have remained out of our hands. Like,
Well, good that that happened to Connor. Fuck
yeah,
Connor. I mean, obviously not
I hope he lived long enough to see it.
exactly. I actually kind of want to like just leave my fucking PC on playing Assassin's Creed 3 just to keep Connor alive.
Until then.
Just until the end of my life, so I could be like, yeah, that's right, Connor, you experienced it every second of it.
Wow, I'm to be fair, I was expecting to defend Connor more than this, but no, I agree he's pretty irredeemable, really.
So, but yeah, mate.
But he's
I
not
mean,
back for the next one. So, you've got, for some reason, his granddad,
yeah,
which is
that's a bit
cool because
weird.
that means it's Haytham's dad. So we can, like, get more Haytham.
Well, yeah, even Ethan Hatham as a kid, I bet he's just as badass.
He's just got the little tricorn and, like, the air of
Exactly.
superiority. Just like, hello,
I bet he's,
father.
I bet he's just swinging around on the ropes, going half sail, full
Like,
sail, just going
an
mental.
awesome Assassin's Creed Richie Rich, just, like, walking around.
But
Hello, all.
and yeah. So and also another problem another big problem I had with the game was just I didn't I didn't really sort of understand why they chose in America, not because of sort of just the time period or anything, but also there wasn't that much rooftop to rooftop running. I
I
found a lot of
think
the time I had to just be falling onto the street. It was just a dodgy place to pick. Like it wasn't built up enough. I
no, I
genuinely
agree.
thought Boston and New York was shit places to go. I enjoyed the frontier because there was tree running, but I've just felt the tree running and like the naval missions they were just too good to be in that game for some reason. Like it was like the game had no right to have them,
No, I agree. I think the
and like they'd
cities
be
were
squandered.
lackluster, and the sewer system was kind of strange as well.
Yeah, no, that was odd. Like it was nice. I was being satisfied. Was like for a fast travel system, this is taking me a very long time
Yeah.
to get anywhere.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, like, America, like, I still think revolutionary France would have been a much better idea because it was an important political event. I
Oh
mean,
man, imagine
the American
synchronizing off the top of the Eiffel Tower.
exactly.
Oh no, it wasn't around then, was it? Or was it?
I don't know. No, not
No,
in
oh shit.
not in the
Revolution.
French Revolution. No.
Fair enough.
But just imagine the kind of like.
Maybe time's just history's just a thing to play around with, so they could still put the Eiffel Tower in there. Why the fuck not?
It's probably they probably put something very similar.
Like,
But like this is the thing because like the American Revolution only becomes important because America is a power today.
Yeah.
Like the American Revolution back then. I mean, there's a reason the British didn't fight harder for it because they were like, oh, whatever, a bunch of fucking yokels. We'll leave them to it. But the French Revolution was a genuine it shifted the entire paradigm of Western civilization. Like at the time, rather than 200 years later.
Well, exactly. Yeah. At times, it just sort of there was just English people versus English people, and it really at times felt like just sort of if like Kyneton or some other backwater village just sort of rose up, like if the people of Shropshire just like went for independence.
Yeah, exactly. You
it's
could send the
basically
navy around.
exactly. It's basically if you had like if you made an alternate history where Cornwall wanted to be an independent state. That would be it. That would be as interesting as the American Revolution.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and then the only reason that would gain any insignificance is if Cornwall one day came to dominate most of France or something.
Exactly. Yeah. If Cornwall suddenly became like a fucking superpower of the world.
Exactly. But so then, yeah, I mean, America was a missed opportunity. I agree, but clearly they liked Native Americans. They wanted to do something. I don't think it was too much of a deal breaker.
Exactly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having America or like as a place to as a game is great, but it just doesn't work for Assassin's Creed because it's not built up enough.
Yeah, no, I agree. There was no free running. Like the free running, I mean, you can tell they were getting desperate because they had to add in that like running through buildings thing. To make you seem like you were free running more.
I used like 3 times, maybe.
Yeah.
I couldn't find them anywhere.
Well, no, that's the thing. They were so specific. I mean, it was well, one, it was overpowered because you would just go from one place to the other, and that would be the chase done.
Yeah.
But two, they were so they were so sporadic in where they turned up. It was
like sometimes I just accidentally run into them while like trying to climb up a building. I'll be like, oh, I guess I'm on the other side of the building now, and it was just. Yeah, I don't know. It's like they were throwing in a lot of ideas, but it kind of felt like every idea they were throwing in was like the bomb making system in Revelations. It just felt, you're either not really. Nothing was improved on. I can't think of a thing that was improved.
System, the kind of the zenith of a bad idea. But I'm perfectly willing to commit to that.
Yeah, no, it's the zenith of just a pointless addition. Like because in Assassin's Creed 2 they revamped the game. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was a complete. They added multiplayer and
they built on it, yeah. I mean,
and they fixed it. It was patching. They've patched everything. It was really good. And then Revelations is, oh my god, we've got a great game.
Stagnation.
Yeah, bomb making. It's like that's it. And then Assassin's Creed 3 is.
Oh, and the hook. Don't forget that hook that lets you climb an extra foot.
Exactly, which is why just make all the buildings a foot smaller.
Yeah.
Because you get that hook immediately, so it doesn't even like add to like problem solving.
Yeah, it's like the first thing. It's like his like little welcome to Istanbul like thing.
Well, exactly. Like even in Assassin's Creed 2, they'd have buildings that were slightly too high, and about late in the game, you'd learn like an extra high jump, and that was now I can reach higher places. That's cool. But the hook was just you got that immediately. It was like, oh, why not just make everyone Constantinople smaller? It makes no sense. It's like sort of giving like Connor.
And the hook
like
became automatic. It wasn't like you had to kind of jimmy yourself up there. It was just you just did it. Though the hook did make slightly more sense when he's like jumping off like a fucking massive building and then has to land on another massive building. So I was thinking the hook would probably just rip off and take half his hand with him.
If you're gonna start like talking about like sort of people getting injured during climbing, Assassin's Creed is not the place to look for it. Like once I fell off an entire cliff in Assassin's Creed 3, and I must have fallen about 150 feet, and I was just like banging the controller because I was so angry, and I accidentally hit B, and Connor grabbed onto a bit of rock. And I was like, Connor, your arm would have been ripped off.
Oh
but and also well, the thing, but the like little additions like that are pointless. I mean, it's like giving sort of like fucking. It would like be giving like Connor an upgrade to make his ass like really fucking bouncy. So,
I tell you what, that
so that
might
he
be
could like
less pointless than bomb making.
exactly.
That would at least be fun. I mean, maybe that's one of the hacks. I don't know. I didn't bother to get all the hacks, but I would not be
I
surprised.
seriously didn't understand what the hack thing was.
No, I don't really. I just found some by accident. Like, as far as I can tell, you've got to find different points within the game, and at each different point you can get a hack for it.
Hmm.
I don't know if there's anything deeper than that. I assume not.
Maybe you can unlock the inflatable ass. Maybe that's one of the hacks.
Maybe. Well, I tell you what, if so, then why the hell is that not the first hack you get?
Why is that not the first upgrade
Yeah,
in the
it
game?
also
Like
be in the game.
he
That
walks
should be a
in.
story mission, to be fair.
Exactly, like in the opening when he's like, Achilles taught me how to fight. He taught me the philosophy of the assassins, and he taught me how to inflate my ass. I definitely have that as the end of the tutorial. I'll be like, it's the greatest game in the series.
No, because I think Connor would have to legitimately enjoy it. I think if Connor was given a bouncy ass and kept his like monotone voice, I'd be freaked out. Like, you've been given such great power. Why don't you enjoy it?
But yeah.
Anyway, Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
4, I guess then, yeah.
Go on.
Unless you've got.
No,
Well,
I mean,
I think it's going to be good. I mean, I know you're not particularly excited, or are you now?
I am, having seen the naval missions and now wanting to complete a complete reboot of the Assassin's Creed series.
Yeah, well, it seems to be a new kind of paradigm. I think.
I think this is enough, like substantial enough. And to be honest, I'm happy. Oh shit, we didn't even talk about the Desmond story. I'm happy the Desmond story's over.
Yeah, let's talk about that as a segue.
And I mean, yeah, Desmond's the same as always. Like his missions are slightly fun.
I thought the last two missions, especially the one with the gun, was really good. I mean, I thought the way he was cutting up Abstergo guards was interesting enough.
That one was cool. What I was surprised by, I did like they removed the HUD system. So like you just had to hit Y. It didn't tell you to hit Y. Like they got rid of the HUD system because you weren't in the Animus anymore. And that wasn't the game that was giving you like credit that you'd work it out. Yeah. And those I did actually quite like that. But,
yeah, I think it was good.
Yeah, like also did Clay appear in the end? Like
yeah, he did. You kill him, remember, don't you?
Yeah, but he was dead.
No, not Clay. Sorry, Cross. You kill Cross.
Is that who Cross is?
No, yeah. Well, do you mean the guy who you knock out at the beginning? Yeah. You knock out in the first Desmond mission when he's in the office.
Oh, him. Yeah, I can work out who he was.
That's Daniel Cross. He betrayed the organization. Like, do you remember that comic where a kid kills the Grand Master?
Oh, it was a comic.
That grows up to be Cross.
Oh, okay, right, fair enough.
And so, Cross, yeah, and I thought Cross was really lame because like everyone beefs Cross up in both the comic and like when you talk to the side characters, like as like the king of assassins. But every time Desmond meets him, he fucking has a headache, and then eventually that headache is what allows Desmond to just fucking murder him.
Yeah, because Cross just runs away.
Yeah.
He was running away for ages, and like...
Yeah, I couldn't catch him, so he was having like a breakdown for like 20 minutes while I was like, I think I went and made like lunch or something. Like,
well, the running system, like, because it was one button, was making me like jump all on the beams at random.
Yeah.
And eventually, I was just like running around for fucking ages. Cross was going mental, and everyone, like, I was getting like people on the other end of the thing going, "Hurry up, we've got to kill him." It's like, I'm trying, but I keep randomly jumping up into the sky.
But he doesn't appear to be not having a mental breakdown anytime soon, so it's fine, guys. We'll just leave him be for a bit.
I
think he's pretty useless. I'm not sure why we're even trying to kill him. I've met him 3 times, and he's had a migraine each time.
What I never understood was, remember at the end where like Desmond just gets out the Apple of Eden and kills the entire building? You just think,
that was amazing.
Why didn't you just do that in the first place?
Oh, true. But that wouldn't be nearly as fun. Like, when he just fucking makes everyone execute themselves, that was like kind of Revelations end scene where fucking Altair takes on the entire Mongol horde. Like, that was amazing.
That was cool. That was, but then again, you know what? I actually enjoyed Revelations more because of all the Altair stuff.
True.
Revelations should have been the last game.
But I think because I remember the Altair stuff, and I'm like, Revelations was a great game. But then I just remember another 20 hours of Ezio stuff, and I'm like, oh, Revelations was a terrible game.
True, it just had boring missions. It just had boring missions, which is basically what Assassin's Creed 3 had. But I think Revelations did have stealth elements.
True, and it did have a better story in the Animus.
Yeah, so I don't know actually. I think Assassin's Creed 3 is the worst one.
Holy shit! I'd still say Assassin's Creed 1 is.
Fair enough. I got to forgive Assassin's Creed 1 because it was the first one. I don't know why.
No,
contextually, I've got to.
I guess they didn't have enough kind of money or potential at that point. Actually, I guess it's kind of a regret. I don't know. No, I still think I still think you judge Assassin's Creed 3 too harshly by the sum of its parts.
Fair enough. I might have. I mean, like, there's something about it annoyed me, and I think once a game's annoyed me, it's very hard to get me back.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which
I'm
is
glad
annoying.
you haven't given up on the series. If you're gonna still, if you're that excited about 4.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll read the reviews to 4. Obviously, I read the reviews to Assassin's Creed 3, and it got
Well, yeah, I
good
don't think
reviews.
I'll buy it full price. Maybe I will.
But I'm excited about Assassin's Creed 4 because it doesn't look like the same old shite again, which is fine. And also Desmond's story is over. Like, I mean, for what they were doing, just trying to open a door, it seemed like a lot to go through. And then there was the whole Juno thing was at the end, and Desmond's right, yeah, the ending.
Okay.
Is the people dead? Is everyone dead now?
This is the thing, because like the person I was playing it with assumed that he was dead, whereas I assumed that he wasn't dead. So
no, even if he's not dead, is the rest of humanity dead?
No, because I think he just saved them, but it's implied he only saved them if he sacrificed himself. So I guess he's dead.
It implies that he enslaves them. Because Juno hates humans. She's like gonna get them enslaved. She's gonna kill everyone.
Yeah, so, true. Well, yeah, that's what's happened. Well, yeah. So I guess, but that's not humanity dead. That's just humanity enslaved.
I would much rather have just revamped. I'd have gone for the revamp.
She clearly doesn't enable it. So.
Because we still got it's pretty awesome. Like we still got the Animus down here. Like we'll just fuck about in the Animus for ages.
Yeah, true. Well, this is the thing. I mean, is there a second Animus? It kind of looks like it. But if so, then who's playing? I mean, is it someone enslaved under Juno, or is it like the kind of last resistance? Or is it still Sean? Are they playing kind of like them? Are they looking at themselves in the Animus from like 20 years ago? I don't know. It's strange.
You know what would have been pretty cool?
What?
If what I would have done is because actually at times Desmond dies and then like he'll come back. Like you can kill him in the temple. My ending would have been, he chooses the one where humanity like dies and it gets revamped. So like the solar storm happens, it starts again, and then I would have ended it with someone in the future coming out of an Animus and saying, "I know what to do," and that would have been my ending.
True. Well, I think they should. I mean, I think if that is what they're going for, then they probably should have made it more apparent than just that.
Yeah. Well, I think, but that's like a problem with Assassin's Creed is it's got very slow storytelling. Like, I mean, Christ, that is not a game. It's not a story which needed 5 games.
True. Well, yeah. I mean, what happened? I mean, Desmond got kidnapped, escaped, trained, and then killed.
And trained for what? Like trained for 3 missions.
3 missions. Yeah, 5 games of training for 3 missions.
Literally, one of which like he could have just. I mean, they're all assassins. Like, surely they all.
One of them was just parachuting. One of them could have been done by like skydiving lessons.
Exactly. He could have taken a lift and then skydived.
Yeah.
What was the other one? He could have just like bought a ticket into the football.
True.
He could have one could have been cheap by like buying a football, and the other one, the last mission, could have been cheap by just holding an apple. Like he doesn't at no point he could just hold the apple. Actually, he never needs his Assassin's Creed training.
But does it imply that he became able to hold the apple by his Animus training? Though who knows how that works?
Who knows?
But yeah, it's a good thing we're not going to go back to the future, because the future was a cool idea, poorly executed.
Yeah, which is a shame.
Yes. I don't know. I think because if it's implied that you are just playing as an Abstergo agent from here on in, which I guess we got by when they got Desmond's dad's DNA, whatever.
Oh yeah.
I'm that's where they got it from. I can't think of any other reason.
They just throw stuff like that in, but yeah, no. Oh no, that actually makes sense. I haven't played the multiplayer. Does the multiplayer have because the Revelations had like a multiplayer story?
There's a small multiplayer story. It's not as advanced as the Revelations. There's not even a cutscene dedicated to it. But yeah, there's a sort of thing. You're learning how assassins work back then. That kind of thing. We should probably play the Wolfpack thing, though it's not very good. It's too short.
What, the co-op? Have you done the co-op yet?
Yeah, I played a bit of it. You're on a really tight leash. Like you can't wait. Like everything. Like you've got like a minute, and then if you kill, you get like an extra 10 seconds. You've got to basically constantly kill. There's very little room to kind of plan or do anything. You're just running from one mission to another, but it's not terrible.
All right, well, we'll give that a shot, but obviously we're just going to leave that as average. I can't improve the game.
Yeah, exactly. So multiplayer shouldn't factor into what is essentially a single-player story anyway. So.
Well, it seems weird that we both basically agree what its issues are. It's just how much it bothered us.
True, yeah, well, I agree. Yeah, I think I'm just willing to over. I think also I had a lot of fun because there was like the homestead missions, were really good. I enjoyed them.
Some of them were.
I thought it was better. I thought it was meant to better than Monty Journal. I think it was maybe slightly worse than the whole room renovation system thing.
Well, that's true, but
I
I guess,
good.
but that was kind of just buying stuff. Like the homestead missions were like literally taking up a lot of time.
Yeah, and I think they were good though. I think you know, there was like when everyone band together to beat off that woman's husband, and you know all those people you'd assembled were in there. Like, yeah, I felt for the community. Or when you helped Norris marry that woman, that was funny.
That was nice. Sorry, you said beat off. Like the whole homestead just jacking off this guy, going, Achilles going, we can't do it. I'm too old.
I'm gonna give up the ghost. No, Achilles, you can do it.
Kind of saying, please, I know I can make him come.
That's such a good Connor accent.
What you have to do is you have to sort of imagine just sort of eating grey sludge in a black room, and sort of that voice just seems to flow from him. It's really strange.
That's the secret. Damn.
Yeah, just imagine the most boring thing ever. Imagine playing Assassin's Creed 3. But I just felt Connor. With the Homestead, I kind of didn't really feel connected to the characters because I was doing it through Connor, and Connor just seemed like just really awkward. Like he'd be like, "You guys aren't fighting, are you?"
No, see, I think Connor became most interesting around, other than Haytham. I think Connor became most interesting around the Homesteaders because, like, kind of like when he was with Norris, like he had little jokes like how he doesn't understand women. I don't think Connor really understands much of humanity.
That was really funny, and I thought it was only funny because it was like they were making Connor seem like he was clueless.
Yeah.
And like being really serious about something that was really fucking stupid, which is what was funny, and I think they should have done that the whole time. Like being self-aware that Connor wasn't that interesting and was taking himself too seriously, which Haytham kind of brought out of him.
Well, Haytham's just quite blasé. I mean, he accepts that everything isn't, everything's not do or die. You can have fun. Exactly. But this is the thing, because like I think Connor's kind of naivety when it came to seriousness would have been pretty good in Ezio as well. Because like when Ezio killed a bunch of people over the flowers, then that's a bit where he could have probably used the kind of like, oh.
Well, Ezio sort of just has general regret that he talks about every now and again, so he's probably including the flowers bit in that.
Do you remember that dead afternoon where I killed 4 people to get some flowers? But it's fine because I passed on my genes.
Exactly. I mean, so yeah, I mean, do you know anything more about Assassin's Creed 4? Or?
All I know is that Edward Kenway is gonna have at least 2 lovers.
Ooh.
Because there's these 2 pirate women that he knew or something. So it sounds like he's gonna have actual kind of depth. In the sense that because Connor never really falls in love with anyone, does he? At all.
I'm trying to think. No, he doesn't. He's a very asexual, and even Altair gets laid.
Exactly. Well, we should Connor must get laid at some point. Like he has to.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, who?
He doesn't. He doesn't in that one. But like I'm saying, so it appears Edward's going to have a kind of. Yeah, he's going to be quite a charmer, it seems. And, look, if you look at him, he's like a kind of brutal, roguish pirate. I think he's going to be a good character.
That's fine. Well, as long as he's interesting, that'll be good. I mean,
I think he's going to be morally grey as well. I mean, you have to be a pirate, unless he's just a pirate who raids pirates, which would be terrible.
That's just be gay.
He's going to have to be kind of, I mean, he's someone who breaks the law and privateers off of it, so...
Well, he should be good, and I think we need another good antagonist, because Ezio was getting a bit old by Revelations, because he wasn't as, like, sort of... No, actually, he was good in Revelations, because he was becoming an old man. I think maybe during Brotherhood, maybe he was at his most boring, because that's when he was serious and he had a job to do. And he didn't really have as many character traits.
Yeah, that's when he was Grandmaster.
Yeah, he was Grandmaster, so he wasn't being, like, a player, and he wasn't being, like, some old man. He was like, oh, man, I'm sick of this.
True. So Brotherhood was a good game in itself that you overlooked that.
Exactly. So yeah, we need to I think we need to
I think it'll be because Blackbeard fears the guy, then he must be a badass motherfucker. It's my thinking at least.
Jesus. Or maybe like he was so seductive that maybe he fucked like Blackbeard, and Blackbeard doesn't like him because he made him question his sexuality.
Perhaps I hadn't thought of that.
He makes me feel strange things.
I guess that was the implicit undertone behind the size of his guns. I don't know. I think it's it'd be pretty good if there was a kind of bisexual character in Assassin's Creed.
I think if you were ever going to have it, I'll tell you, Ezio would have been it. But I mean, they didn't really go into it.
I
So
don't know. I
yeah,
think
they could do it with the
I think
pirate.
it'd be more acceptable in kind of the pirate era, as a because people get like stoned to death in the Middle East, and I mean you get stoned to death today in the Middle East for homosexuality, let alone controversial, let alone in the 9th century.
True. Well, I mean, yeah, I hope I hold out hope for the new protagonist, and also like I have been won over by the naval system, and so I genuinely think the new Assassin's Creed could be cool.
Sure. What do you think? Do you think there'll be any kind of focus on the future?
Multiplayer naval missions. Oh shit.
God, that'd be amazing. Well, this isn't this the one where they've done the questioning for the co-op, so we could have a co-op story player mode finally.
Oh baby.
That would be incredible.
It's gonna be great.
That'd be worth right. I'll tell you what, I think I'd probably buy it full price if it had that in it. There you go, and Ubisoft. If you ever listening to this, make it.
One person will buy your game if you do this thing. But yeah, I agree. I'm really looking forward to it now, and I need to wash out Assassin's Creed 3 from my mind.
You've got Bioshock for that, so.
Which is really good, and I will give a review later. Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, we can cover that in the
I think it's amazing because it allows you to just pick up lots of stuff. Like it's got the sort of running, searching everything. I'm not even sure if it's that good of a shooter. It's just quite fun to pick up stuff. Sort of got an Oblivion feel to it for some reason. But I'll talk about that later when I've actually completed it.
Sure. Well, have we got anything else to talk about Assassin's Creed with? Have you got any qualms with the series? Now's the time to say them.
I just think it went on too long, and Assassin's Creed 3 was a pretty weak ending. But I mean, I think we both really agree with the ending. That it was just sort of.
Yeah, I mean, well, it all depends where they go from here. I mean, if like they say, then they're basically not going to build on it. Then yeah, it seems like a really stupid ending.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. I hope they have a plan. I mean, I know some of the times it seems like they're making up as they go along, but
I think the problem was it just sort of felt it was so planned out. Like there was really no twists, or I mean, they tried Juno, but half the time I didn't even know Juno was in the game. Like she looked so much like Minerva. She's got so much fucking lens flare on her. It's like
yeah,
she was created by J.J. Abrams.
I forgot there were two of them.
J.J. Abrams must be mentioned in every one.
Sure. Well, J.J. Abrams is probably going to end up directing Assassin's Creed as well at this rate. Direct everything.
God's sake. Well.
Yeah, we even got the J.J. Abrams suck segment out of the way.
There we go.
Good work, guys.
But so does Connor.
Connor sucks. Yeah. Connor's bland as J.J. Abrams. And that is saying something.
But yeah, do you have any other problems with it? I mean, you're still defending that that was a good game. I'm defending it's an average game.
Sure, I think it's it's below average for the Assassin's Creed series. It's above average for games in general. I mean, it's a hell of a good game. I think it had too many extraneous bits, like you said, like the hunting wasn't really necessary. I mean, it was nice.
Shit, I've forgotten about
I was still thinking about how mental. Like, I bet the hunting wouldn't have been in the game if Connor had been white, because he wouldn't have respected the land enough, and it would have just been like a mental white guy with a sword.
He wouldn't have said Yama. He'd have been like, "Oh fuck this! I got blood on me."
Oh yeah, animal skin profit. Instead of Yama, he just said dollar, just like dollar.
Dollar.
But no, yeah, I thought that was. I mean, it was a nice enough system. I mean, it made the frontier look nice and pretty because you'd walk around and there'd be like bears and stuff that you could brutally murder.
Sure, I did find the quick time event bear fighting quite annoying.
Yeah.
Because it was really annoying.
Especially because you had to do it 3 times.
It was annoying to get. It was annoying to get stuck in a wolf pack because you'd have like 20 fucking wolves coming at you.
But isn't it nice to be like on a pile of wolves at the end of it?
Sure, it was fun, and I mean, the thing I found a bit broken with the hunting was like if you just like chased after an animal long enough, it would sort of get stuck on a tree or something, and then you just stab it.
Yeah, except for those rabbits. Also, I felt really bad for the beavers. Like, I'm gonna throw this out there. Like, the beavers never try and run away, and when they die, they make a like little. And I was like, why? Why did I do that?
The one animal I thoroughly enjoyed killing was the raccoon. just because it sort of reminded me of what's his name, Kiki in Pocahontas.
Oh yeah.
I felt like I was like Pocahontas was around the area somewhere, and I was just like stabbing the shit out of her pet.
Wow, that says something. I felt bad killing the fat defenseless thing. You took joy in it.
I don't know, but I really wish maybe it would have been quite cool if like you could have been running around sort of like the. If somehow they'd have got in like a sort of rendition of Savages, barely even human.
Well, maybe that was what Johnson was going for in Charles Lee. Maybe they should have done it. I don't know. Do you think there's anything that can be added to the Assassin's Creed game that would make you like 4 more? I mean, I'm looking forward to the double sword thing. I think that's going to be cool.
Double sword. I think improve the combat system, bring back stealth and social stealth.
The running kicks as well, like where he stamps on that guy's head on the floor and keeps moving, is going to be cool.
So that would be cool, and have a Wind Waker style like sort of open world. That's cool. But I think mostly just make the missions more interesting and more complex. Yeah, just more varied, because like it's boring just following people around on a rooftop, following them for ages.
I think a boarding system would be good as well, because they had like the shop where you could take up the sails, but then they never did anything with that, because you took up the sails and then just had to sink it anyway. It's not like you could board it for more gain.
And I think like with the boarding as well, like it's got to be like in game, like because you've got a climbing system, so it's fine.
You can just jump from one to the other, and if you fuck up, then you can just swim to the side.
Exactly. Like I don't want a big cutscene where it jumps them over, because that won't be as interesting. But yeah, I think open world, improve the combat, just make the levels more varied and interesting, and just have a good story and a good character, and then it'll be just an amazing game.
That's all we want, Ubisoft. That's all we want.
I want a good game, Ubisoft. I haven't given anything constructive, but yeah, I mean, do you want the same, or would you want a bit more interesting?
I mean, well, to be fair, we need to tell them this, because they're not, clearly something went wrong. I don't really know how Connor got through planning. I guess they hemmed themselves in with a Native American character, and then they just had to just stay down the line of being respectful.
Well, I guess like on paper you can write he's an honourable man, and it sounds complex, but it's so hard to write well that the more you write, like you just forget to make honourable actually have any character traits other than just going from place to place and complaining about how bad everything is.
But I think if he'd been honourable, but kind of like even just, it was the fact he was honourable and then stoic, and then kind of like...
And then a hypocrite.
Yeah, and then just so far removed from the situation, it just made him seem like he was... And then his actions, like you said, just so completely disjustified what he was actually doing.
Yeah.
It was strange. He was like, yeah.
I mean, it was a Native American revenge movie, but the problem is the Native Americans, we know they didn't win because it's a historical thing, and also the Native Americans are enemies with everyone. Like, there's no real group. Like, either the Native Americans kill everyone in America, so you've just got to make them kill the British and be like, yeah, that's revenge.
That's the thing, they were trying to be patriotic as well, but this is because I mean...
Speaking of which... What the fuck was up with the really emotional raising the American flag? Why does he have so many American flags on him?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the British fort has one. Maybe it's protocol. You got to keep a flag for every nation around.
And it's the only unskippable cutscene in the game.
Yeah, just the flag being raised. It's
so gay.
The troops leaving as well, and like all the American freedom fighters cheering, even though they've done nothing.
Exactly, and also why even Hatham is really even taking over these forts and raising an American flag? Why does he care whether or not the Americans own it? He just wants the British out.
Who one set him that task to do? He just did it.
I mean, I don't even have a problem that it's a historical film, and the Americans were fighting against the British. That's fine. It's just I think the way it was presented, it didn't really make much sense why Connor was doing it. It just felt kind of gay, and just because. It doesn't really feel like they're fighting against an injustice. I didn't really get a sense of injustice aside from made-up public executions. It was some mildly high taxes.
Yeah,
that was it. It didn't feel like anyone was fighting against anything.
Well, there was no reason. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't kind of like the repression and serfdom and terror of kind of the French monarchy.
Even Killzone, you're fighting against the Helgun because they're coming after you. I even got a sense more of being a. I even got a better sense of killing the Helgun and why the Helgun were bad in Killzone. Or even in Halo. Even when I killed the Covenant, I was like, oh, thank God. But in this, it was just I don't see what the English are really doing.
Indeed, I mean, yeah. They try and... They try and present that there are bad men in the English ranks, but they then turn around and kind of say, oh... The American ranks are just full of good, honest George Washingtons and Lafayette McCrells.
Yeah, George Washington wasn't that interesting. I think Ben Franklin was really the most interesting forefather.
Well, that's just because he kept going on about how much he wanted to sleep with old women. I mean, I guess that's probably what they did most of the time anyway, but it was nice that they actually included that. I'm not sure who thought that was a good idea though. How that got pitched. We're gonna have Benjamin Franklin, but one of the few things he does, other than set you a pointless fetch quest is he's gonna
which you
talk
do
about
later anyway.
yeah, he's gonna talk about how much Haytham should probably try and sleep with some older women, which he ignores because he then goes sleep with some young Indian girl. But then
What a
Franklin was
bastard!
yeah,
And
like a
I wish he had, because then Connor wouldn't have been fucking born.
true, we'd have had some sort of lovely old white woman child instead to go assassinating. He wouldn't have been nearly as stoic. He'd have probably been happy-go-lucky.
Exactly. Oh, what a shame.
Probably wouldn't have fucking rebelled against his father either.
Exactly. Orgo's entire people killed because it is Connor's fault.
Yep, completely. Apparently, at least. Apparently, yeah, we never realized the Civil War went down so much to one man, but it really did. I mean, because Altair didn't really affect the outcome of the Crusades, per se.
No, exactly. Yeah,
but Connor definitely affected the outcome of the Civil War.
Yeah, he wins it. Like even.
Yeah. You know, he like turns the tide of Bunker Hill. He like takes over Boston.
Yeah, I mean, even like Revelations, like Ezio really just acts like the Sultan's bodyguard.
Well, yeah, I mean, at that point, yeah, Constantinople had already fallen at that point. It wasn't like he retook Constantinople for the Ottoman, for the Byzantines or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's you know, I mean, the worst that he does in the other two is just some regime changing of Roman politics, which happens behind the scenes. But Connor is actively on the battlefield. Like history would have recorded that. Like, and then this fucking amazing Native American dude killed everyone.
Maybe he was so boring, people just forgot.
People just attributed it to an army because they didn't remember anyone walking through.
They were like, yo, I just had this really bland voice in my head telling me to shoot. I think it might have been God or something. Maybe it was wind.
It was God, or it was Disraeli, or it was someone.
Oh god, but I mean, yeah, it was alright.
And yeah, I mean, we're gonna buy the next one, so clearly it didn't off-put us that much. So I guess basically it's because it was a show-off for what their naval technology can be like.
Basically, I mean, it's one of the weird things. It's the only time I think I've actually ever wanted a sequel of a game because the preceding one was so average. That's amazing. I don't think
you wanted to prove itself.
Yeah, I was like, damn, this is so fucking pointless. And then the next one, I'll be like, oh, I hope this is better. Whereas mostly it's, oh, this game was amazing. I can't wait to buy the next one. That's the only time this ever happened for me in a game. But you liked it, so
yeah,
well, I'm glad you had a good time.
Oh, I didn't buy it. Maybe that was part of it. I had it bought for me.
I might have liked it a bit more if it was free.
True. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, we're gonna buy them, and I think Assassin's Creed is still one of the best series of this kind of generation of console.
Well, it's just interesting.
Yeah, exactly. It's new, and as much I think the main reason we're sad when they're bad isn't because they're bad; it's because they're average and they could be more.
Exactly.
It's the kind of I'm not upset, I'm disappointed thing that people pull.
Also, I found the I was slightly irritated. I didn't like the fact they got rid of the contextual body part.
I didn't really notice it, but yeah, I agree that it was kind of strange that it was gone because it was how the Animus worked.
Exactly, and there were like a lot of the buttons weren't really used for. Like, yeah. I don't remember there being that many button pushes and stuff. It was just, I don't know, it was weird. They just changed a lot. They didn't really need to change it. I'm not saying change is bad. I'm just saying it was just fucking pointless change.
Well, yeah, change is terrible.
Exactly, it didn't really affect anything. But yeah, just do you have any more points, or is that basically?
I think that might be it. We like Assassin's Creed. Don't get us wrong, but we're looking forward to better things, hopefully. I don't know. I think after this, they should definitely leave the colonial era. I think that should be my closing point. I know if they're going to do one a year, then they're not going to have much time to update the engine, but
yeah,
I really don't think there's much more to come out of this. I mean, unless they want to do a kind of end to Connor's story, but I'm not sure I really care enough.
I just don't care at all.
Exactly. Well, because I care slightly. Yeah, at the end of the day, I still like some aspects of Connor. Like, I guess I kind of want to make Connor fall in love. I want to see how the hell that's even possible.
Yeah, see, but there was none of that. I mean...
Yeah, but this is the thing. I'd love to see them try and get around that. Maybe they were like, oh, we've created such a bland character, he can't fall in love.
I guess he, like, sort of mastered...
incapable.
Like, he accidentally, like, sort of gets bored one night and, like, fucks a bird of some kind, which, like, flies off and accidentally drops it into a woman's vagina. It's like accidental impregnation. Or maybe he just gets drunk one night and just fucks the voodoo woman.
Oh, I can't wait. I actually, you know what? Yeah, you've convinced me. I hope they never resolve that. Besides, it doesn't matter now. Desmond's dead anyway. The whole question of ancestry is over.
Well, all of humanity's dead, thanks to Desmond's rash
Well,
decision,
no,
where he's like, the
just no.
decision's been made.
Enslaved, not dead.
It's,
The other
oh, okay.
option was them to die.
Of
They were
course.
just enslaved. Like normally I wouldn't differentiate, but the fact that he stopped being dying for that means that you can't belittle his achievement.
I think he genuinely made the world a worse place.
Well, no, because she said what would happen if he let everyone die. That some would survive, but they'd eventually come to revere him as like another Jesus, and it would all go to shit again. So he at least tried to give them a chance.
Although I do always like whenever the game like because it's one of the few games that seems to have quite a sort of I don't want to say humanist, but sort of just like quite a sort of.
But it indulges in limited philosophy. If that's what you mean.
It indulges in limited philosophy, and also it can be quite critical of the way people abuse ideas.
Oh yeah,
and especially religion, which I'm not just saying games that attack religion are interesting, but it's one of the few games that kind of at points had the balls to clearly be very open in that it's saying yes, this is there is nothing wrong with hope, and having believing things, but you must be aware that there are lies and people corrupt ideas.
Yeah, well, no, I think it's good in that respect, and I think that's probably witnessed by their little. This game is made by a team of multicultural religious people, etc.
But the one atheist who headed who heads the project really has the say.
He's calling the shots.
Exactly.
Either that or everyone else is just a really casual theist.
Yeah, sort of like an Indian goes like, yeah, I guess I believe whatever.
My parents did, so whatever.
Exactly.
It'd be funny if it was all atheists except for like they got one of each religion in just to fill out the numbers. But yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe it's like when it says a team of maybe they have like one Muslim and one Christian, but like they're not in control of anything. They're in control of like sort of
the waves, like the naval model.
Yeah, they're in control of like water physics, and they don't really know what game they're making. And then it comes out, and they're like, "Oh my god,
I made the waves for that."
Oh,
but
Jesus.
no, I mean,
it'd be like somebody doing sound design on like the stage version of like Jesus Christ Superstar or Jerry Springer the Musical. You'd be annoyed, but I mean,
I think that's what makes Assassin's Creed kind of like. That's one of the things that distinguishes though. Is it kind of? I mean, because it seems to actually want to portray a message as incompetently as it sometimes does it, and as kind of as much as that. One of the sad things was that didn't really exist as much in Assassin's Creed 3. I didn't find because Connor wasn't a philosopher. Like Ezio had his whole people thing, which while pretty basic and kind of socialisty, was still good.
Exactly, and Connor at least picks up a book.
Does he?
Yeah, Connor reads. Even Hatham fucking reads.
Oh, true.
God, you just don't see Connor really doing anything that seems. And he's not a ponderer; he's a fighter. Which
is the thing, but they try and portray him as like not a fighter.
Exactly. I think at points he still mentions the spirits very late on in the game. It's like, whoa.
Well, to be fair, he did witness that whole eagle vision thing, so he probably just mistakes that for God, which is fair.
I think Achilles could probably be like, yeah, it's not.
Or it's some sort of weird spirit thing that's been haunting us for years and just espousing dialogue to us. I'm not really sure what they do. We're trying to hope they go away.
Yeah.
I think we're an end.
I think we're an end, but it's I'm sorry to conclude it again, but yeah, just kind of average and disappointing.
Assassin's Creed 3, true.
Yeah, but you liked it. Well, Assassin's Creed 4 I'm looking forward to.
Slight anticipation, yes.
Oh baby. Right.
And
that concludes this
another special. Yeah.
Exactly.
Until next time, which might be very soon.
Goodbye.
For now.